Hello everyone, welcome to today's video. So today very specific topic because tomorrow JU, my university students, final year students will have their grand viva, and many of them have called me personally to ask for what type of questions can be expected in a grand viva or something like that. So today's topic is going to be specific to grand viva, and I'm making this topic midweek because of the examination, the grand viva that is going to be held tomorrow. I'm going to speak slowly in this video, I recommend you to wear your headphones to specifically listen to this because my voice is choked and I am having my troubles with my throat currently. So I'm not going to give much of a stress to my throat. So I'm going to speak slowly and steadily, and I'm not going to give much stress on what I say. So please pay attention to what I say. First, it's going to be a generalistic approach and then a specific approach to JU chemical engineering students whose grand viva will be tomorrow. So grand viva is the viva where you can expect verbal questions regarding all the topics that you have learned throughout your coursework, be it MBA, be it engineering, or be it any other course. Whatever you have learned throughout the course, you need to know every bit of that to answer all the questions, or to be sure of answering all the questions in a grand viva. Grand viva, as the name suggests, is a BAP or father of all the vivas put all together. It can have questions from all the domains, including all the majors and minors of whatever you have learned throughout your curriculum. So it's very difficult to be prepared for that, particularly in this season when you have had online classes for the last 1.5 years. I can totally relate with the students. It's very difficult to understand all the topics because majorly the core topics are covered in the third and fourth year itself. So it's very difficult to correlate with those when you have not studied them in your last year or this year, and you have been having online courses, and we know it's difficult to connect or understand when it's online classes. But what is going to be a generalistic approach? The subject that you are strong in, you need to select those one or two subjects which you are strong in. See, people don't generally fail in grand viva because it's your last viva. Teachers generally do promote you off, or do at least give you a minimalistic grade so that you pass in that grand viva. To pass in the grand viva, you need to have a favorite subject. Many of the teachers do ask the students themselves, what is your favorite subject? So you select one of the favorite subjects. Like for me, it was always fluid dynamics and chemical technology and chemical engineering, and whatever questions can be expected from that domain, prepare that FAQ, that is frequently asked questions, and prepare the answers for the same. Like if you choose fluid dynamics, you can expect questions from boundary layer, from eddy current losses, from pump selection, from engineering Bernoulli, from Hagen-Poiseuille's equation, from types of fluids, Newtonian and non-Newtonian fluids, thixotropic, dilatant, shear thinning, shear thickening. All of these questions can be expected from fluid dynamics. And when you choose chemical technology, you are expected to know all the process technologies that are happening in the industry, particularly the refineries, because the majority of the chemical engineering is involved in refineries. This is specific to chemical engineering. For other courses, you need to understand the curriculum of whatever is involved in that particular subject, and you need to have a grasp on all of that. So whatever is asked from that particular domain which you are claiming to be your favorite subject, you can answer all of that. So you need to choose a favorite subject and you need to prepare accordingly so that you can answer all the questions from that particular topic. Second, try to know which teacher is taking your grand viva. It's very important to understand the core subject, or the subject of priority, subject of strength which the teacher teaches who is taking the grand viva. So you need to understand the interview in order to predict the type of questions that can come in the interview. For example, a teacher that takes fluid dynamics is mostly expected to ask questions from fluid dynamics. If it goes a little bit more, it may be heat transfer and mass transfer that are related to momentum transfer, which is involved in fluid dynamics. A fluid dynamics teacher generally wouldn't approach chemical technology, or a fluid dynamics teacher wouldn't generally approach a PDC, process dynamics control topic. So you need to understand which type of topics are being taught by the particular teacher in the university, and accordingly you need to prepare the subjects of his strength. Now, talking of your favorite subject, you choose your favorite subject which is not the favorite of the teacher that is taking the interview. Because if it's his favorite too, and if that collides, he will ask you anything and everything. So if you, unless and until you are very confident about the particular topic, try to select a topic which is not the strength of the interviewer that is taking your interview or taking your viva, grand viva. So these are the two generalistic approach that can be done. First, evaluate the interviewer, evaluate the teacher who is taking your interview, and second most, prepare a favorite subject and prepare all the topics from the particular favorite subject, so that in case you cannot answer the questions that are being generally asked, you can say that ask me from this topic, I can answer anything. So this is the safest approach. If you cannot answer anything, just go for your favorite subject. Tell them that, ma'am, I'm not prepared from this subject, I'm prepared from this subject, you can ask me anything from this. And then it is hopeful that you will be able to answer those particular questions from your favorite subject. Often the interviewer or the one who is taking the viva himself or herself asks you that which subject is your favorite. So you need to answer accordingly and you need to prepare accordingly. Now coming to specifically to chemical engineering viva, grand viva, what was asked to me? Now let me tell you, the viva questions can come from anywhere. There were two panels in our case. First day, there was this one panel when there was one industrial expert and 3 university teachers, and they asked me the fluid dynamics, the topics from fluid dynamics. What are the types of fluids? Bingham plastic fluid, Kazan fluid, what are they? Shear thickening, shear thinning, with expressions, with derivations, and Newtonian and non-Newtonian fluids. My interview went smooth. They asked from boundary layer, I answered that too, and having answered those questions, they asked something from CRE as well. My first phase went very good, first day interview, first day grand viva. The second day of grand viva was followed by mostly industrial topics, which I was expecting to do good because my strength has always been chemical technology and industrial topics, but unfortunately it didn't end up well. So even if it doesn't end up well, do not get disappointed. I ended up scoring a B grade, that is 76 out of 100, which is a decent score in a grand viva. I think, no, not a 76, but an 82. A in a grand viva, which is a pretty good score. So even if you cannot answer it, they understand that you have the concept and you are trying to approach the answer. So my first question from the second day was, how does solar panels work, or the working principle of solar panels, which was again out of my domain, but I still tried to hit around the bush and I'm trying to frame my answer and give the answer. The second question was polyacrylonitrile, I guess. It is present in our clothes as well as on the glass, but how does the hardness vary from different for different materials? So it has to be the composition, it has to be the percentages. I told plasticizers in particular, which was not the correct answer, so I was bashed for that. And then came this question that why do we use coke and not coal in a blast furnace? I will discuss that in a separate video, but primarily telling that coke has more carbon percentage, so the purity is more. Coke is a little bit more reactive than coal itself, because coal is surrounded by volatile matter mostly. So by the time the volatile matter evaporates, most of the reaction has to take place, whereas coke, direct carbon surface is exposed. Coal, if volatile matter flies off, it can destroy the pressure recovery turbine that is fitted up on the blast furnace to recover the pressure from the gas that is escaping the blast furnace. For coke, there is no volatile matter, so no deposition on the blades and no disturb of aerodynamics will occur, and no disturbance to the pressure recovery turbine will be there. The last question was difference between meter cube and nm cube. By that time I didn't know what is nm cube. Let me tell you, nm cube is normal meter cube, that is a standard temperature and pressure, that is 25 that is at 0 degrees Celsius and atmospheric pressure, that is 1 atmospheric pressure. So that the flow rate, that is nm cube per hour, is signifying the flow rate at 0 degrees Celsius, that is 273.15 Kelvin, and 1 atmospheric pressure. So whatever is measured at 0 degrees Celsius and 1 atmospheric pressure is known as normal operating temperature and pressure, and it is known as normal meter cube, nm cube, and there is this basic difference from meter cube. So this type of concepts, like difference between ton and metric ton, one is used to measure liquid, one is used to measure solid, these type of concepts can be generally approached or asked. So you know, it's a very vast topic, you cannot cover everything, so do not get disheartened if you cannot answer anything. Just don't get puzzled, try to answer the next question, try to prepare a subject of your importance or your strength, and try to prepare everything from that so that you can answer all those questions. All the best for your Grand Viva. Whoever is watching this video, it's particularly for the students that is going to appear for the Grand Viva, my juniors that are going to appear for the Grand Viva the very next day. All the best to you, and all the best to all of those who are watching this video. This is how you prepare for a Grand Viva. Hope this was helpful. If it was, share it with your friends, subscribe to our channel, hit the bell icon to get regular updates, and we will be keeping on bringing videos like this. That's it for today. Thank you very much.